Good morning. Now this is my second video on building wealth, and if you see me look that way, I have some notes over there. Building wealth without money or college. So the first one went over pretty well. Let me give you the next area that needs work on. And I'm going to give you what people in poverty do, what people in the middle class do, and what people in the wealthy class do as far as what their focus is, okay? All right. First of all, when you're in poverty, it's a survival situation. It is that instance, that situation. If someone does something wrong, they get clobbered for it, but then it's all forgotten. There is no expectation that they'll do better next time, which is why you'll see people go to drugs, go to jail, and come out and go right back into society like nothing has happened. And that's the way it has to be when you're daily trying to survive. Okay? What they mostly focus on is connections. Now those connections are a little bit different than other kind of connections we're talking about. For instance, if somebody has a little extra money, they share it. If somebody has a little extra food, they share it. These kind of connections are very, very important. If somebody needs money, they try to get it from somewhere, and usually they can, and if they go through the process, like the American process, they will get loan sharked, they'll get substantial loans that have huge interest rates on them. So everything in poverty is kind of localized, okay? Now let's go to middle class. What does middle class look like? Middle class focuses on achieving and acquiring things. You'll see that they got to go to college. And if they don't go to college, they've got to get a job. Those kind of things are just givens in the middle class. They don't go 1 through 12 as far as school. They go 1 through college. That is the way the middle class thinks, okay? And then, what are your achievements? What have you done? Well, I've been to college. What does college actually do for you? College is a gatekeeper. It opens up a lot of opportunities. I don't care if you graduate in PE. I just, whatever, basket weaving, it doesn't matter. That college degree proves to some people that you can think, okay? That's all college does. Now, the problem with college is it's also the gatekeeper. And if you don't have college, that gatekeeper is closed to you in almost every instance except for being self-employed. Now, you'll see people running around buying these brand new cars, and you know for sure they can afford it. They live in these big houses. And most of the people where I work, coming from a financial background, most of the people where I work are living paycheck to paycheck, even if they do live on the islands on the ocean front. They have no clue about money. They're what you call the nouveau rich, the new rich, and they will eventually lose everything, or if not, the next generation of them will lose everything. It takes 3 generations to make money and 1 generation to lose it. Now, in some cases today, there's technology that's coming around that's just huge. And so when it comes out, automatically someone's a billionaire. That's different, okay? I'm talking about somebody that works day by day by day by day. It takes 3 generations. All right, so what does the wealthy focus on? That's really important. What the wealthy focuses on is networks. And networks are what I want to talk about a little bit more today. Networks are who you know and what they can give to you, and who those people know that what they can give to you, okay? So the wealthy people, the reason they pay so much money to get into these private schools and so much money to people to get their kids into the private schools is because those connections are invaluable for their children and their parents for the rest of their lives. The wealthy are about excluding people from their network, not including people. So when you bring somebody into your network, the whole point there is to get what they've got, and if you don't need them, exclude them, okay? Now, it seems cutthroat, and it is, but that's the way they make money with huge connections. If you know 15 billionaires, it's probably a little bit easier for you to get money to start a business than if you live in the projects. Okay, now, a network. All of you have a network. Every single one of you. I just want you to use it properly. Now, there are iPhones out there, and mine I'm taping on, so I can't actually use it. But inside your contacts, you have a list of people. Some of those people, let's face it, are useless, okay? Some of them are very important and could do something or introduce you to somebody to your future. And those are the kind of people you want to put in something called a customer relationship management database, CRM for short. There's probably several online in the App Store that are free, but basically what you want this thing to do is date you met somebody, their name, any kind of contact information you can get from them, and usually you can get an email pretty easy. If you get a telephone call, put that in, a telephone number, put that in there too. Address, put that in there too. Business name, put that in there too. Business card, put it all in there, all right? And then, what did you talk about? Who introduced you, if somebody introduced you, where you were, and what did the end of that conversation look like, okay? The last thing you want to put in there is where they can help you with your career. You might have 3 things you want to do. Don't have 5. Maybe have 3. 2 is better than 3. 1 is really good, but everybody seems to want a side hustle now, so hey, have 2. But put everybody in your database into those 2 categories. And the last category of the 3 categories is people. Just people that you know, that you just want to hang with, whatever. Can they be in 2 separate databases? Yes, they can. You can have Bill in friend database on one line when you fill out your contact management letter. It's friend, Bill. And then down here you can put, so let's say you want to do scuba diving. Down here you can put Bill, scuba diving. Now, what does this do for you? Let's say that you're wanting to get into scuba diving. You can go to your scuba diving relationship manager and find out who those people are right off the bat. And your job with that database is this. You have to jog their memory on who you are and what you want to talk about and where you last spoke to them. It's not their job to remember you. You are not important in their life, okay? Just take that as a fact. What's important is you can jog their memory enough for them to remember you. I was introduced to you by Mike, and we were at an event at the Marriott Hotel, and we were talking about deep depth scuba diving, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff you want to capture in your database, so you have a long contact history of this person going back, a couple of months to many years on everything you've ever talked about. It's very, very important to build a network. Now, who else should belong in that scuba network? Guess. People that sell boats, people that have boats, people that are captains that can go out in boats and have captain's licenses, licensing groups. All of those people should be in that one database under scuba. It can be all kind of things more, like fishing rods, tackle, any kind of machinery that goes on the front of a boat that you have to look at, like depths and things like that. All those people belong in there. To your side hustle, let's say it's a web builder that you want to do. All right? Who else is in your town that might be support for you if you have a question? What are the different contacts in there? Do you have somebody that was interested? Do you have somebody that's starting a business that may be interested? They go in that database. Now, over time, and I'm talking 6 months or so, you can use that database. And how do you use it? Very, very easy. You call out to the people in your database and you say, I have a question about this. So if you get a call from me later on, please accept it so I can talk to you about it. That's number 1. Or number 2, and you can put them in the same email. Number 2 is, I am starting a business and I need some wisdom. I'd like to call you and talk to you about it, or would you mind me sending you an email and you answer questions for me? Thank you very much. Perspex Savant. Boom. Okay? You'd be surprised how many people want to help. Use the word help. Use the word help. People like to help. They don't want you to tell them what you want them to do. They want to know that they're going to help you. Okay? Now, The last thing I want to talk about is formal register. Now, formal register is a way of speaking. When you are at home, you speak with an informal register. Doesn't matter if you have your verb tenses right or anything like that, you just talk the way you want to talk, all right? When you talk in business, you have to use a formal register, which is your English has to be correct. Your enunciation, if you are talking to somebody, has to be correct. Your tenses have to be correct. And the reason is because they judge you by this. And are you being judged? Every second of every day. Don't get pissed about it. That's what it is. You have to be able to bounce between all these groups you're in, and your voice and what you say and how you say it is important. Think of a formal register as a foreign language if you're having a hard time enunciating words or understanding English, okay? And I'm not talking down to you. I'm just telling you the truth. You can hear it or not. Don't really care to me. If you don't like the hair, if you don't like the sun stuff up here or the lights, I don't care. Just move on, okay? I'm just trying to help. So what I want you to do is be cognizant of the fact that you need to speak differently and write differently to your different networks. You need to talk scuba speech with proper English when you're talking to your scuba people. You need to talk web design speech when you're dealing with those people and use a formal register, exact tenses, better words. Last thing, better words, vocabulary. You, me, and everybody else in the world has the same thought. Wow, those words those people are using, they must be really smart. Guess what? They read them and get the definition, and then they use them 2 or 3 times during the day, and that word becomes theirs. They're not any smarter than you are. What they know is words, and words will take you to the very top of the wealth, okay? All right, that's all for today. Got any questions? Go below, and I'll answer you. All right, guys, y'all have a great one.